welcome to another episode. I know what you're thinking. Oh great, another workbench video. But that's not the case today. We're gonna jump back into cars with a review / installation on a solid mount shifter from Garagistic. They're a small company from California, kind of with the motto of making BMW performance parts without paying the BMW tax. They make and test all their own stuff. I've worked with them in the past for some poly bushings on the BMW, and it's been great. Installation's super simple. They're great customer service. Instructions are straightforward, but I haven't bought anything mechanical from them. So Black Friday, I purchased their solid mount shifter, which from what I was reading online is fantastic. It comes in different lengths that you can pick from, thread pitch for the shift knob, different shift knobs, color. There's all sorts of options to kind of fit and tailor it for what you need.
And that's the beauty of them manufacturing the parts themselves. I mean, I don't know if they manufacture everything. Maybe they do, but
it's a lot.
Because they're doing the actual machining, they can build it to suit. So they've got a handful of options, and when you go to the solid mount shifter page, you've got 10 options for shift knobs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're making half of them.
So,
maybe all of them actually. I haven't gone through the whole list.
Depending on what you pick, would fluctuate the price a little bit. I went with the bare basic kind of stock height, the Delrin plastic. Delrin, yep. Thank you. Shift knob. So it's kind of the white girl standard, but it'll be perfect for this car.
It's pretty Starbucks, but I mean, the fact that you're putting a solid mount shifter in the car in the first place is very not Starbucksy. Yeah. It's not basic, bitch.
No, and one of the things they do recommend is to go with one of their DSSRs. That's the shift linkage, essentially. That will happen down the road during another project that involves removing the transmission and the motor.
Yep.
But for today, we're just gonna hook it up to the factory transmission linkage. Should be just fine.
Exactly. So first step for us is to just show you guys the unboxing. I know how that's become everybody's like work safe pornography. It's watching people open stuff they want to buy. So that's what we're gonna kick this off with. All right, so you got your knife.
Yep.
Should we open it up?
Sure.
All right.
Definitely want to make sure you cut towards yourself. God, these are the world's worst knife. Well, the packaging's fantastic. So everything is individually wrapped.
What was that word?
Individually wrapped. Sweet, that pull-up bar I ordered came in.
Nice. Gotta get swole.
This is packaged really well, actually. I will say this though, it's nice to have a workbench that's level.
Yeah, I bet.
So this is the rear strut tower bar that I ordered. Pretty self-explanatory. Nice powder coating job. Welds look really good. Also a good poke stick. Yeah, and the front one. That's pretty heavy duty. They had, so nice thing is, they have a couple different options on their site. I picked black. You can actually do a request for custom colors for a little bit more charge. They can pick them raw, red, white, or standard colors. I went with black. So, somewhere in here is a shifter. Woo, buddy. So this is the base. That is machined beautifully. Very self-explanatory. Linkage slides right through there. You can actually adjust the height a little bit, which is kind of nice.
Oh wow, it's like a pillow ball.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Yes, it's very, very beautiful. Easy to disassemble if need be. So from what their site says, 86 and older cars, with the exception of the iX, won't take any modification to install this. Pre-86 might need to be kind of grounded out about 1/16 of an inch to get it to fit properly. But yeah. That's pretty. Delrin. It's very comfortable. Well, that'll slide on like so. Add these little set screws. So just pick your height, clamp it down, call it good. That is a beautiful piece of equipment though. So far I'm really happy with my
You talking about me or the shifter?
Obviously the shifter.
Oh, okay. So what's the next step, boss?
Go get lunch. No, no, we don't have time for that today. We need to start taking the old one out. Should be pretty straightforward.
Alright, boss. So what's the first step to removal here?
We don't talk about removal.
Does that mean the second step is also don't talk about removal?
Yep, and the third step is you just cut it out with a hacksaw. Well, first we'll get the shifter off.
You just tug on it?
Yeah, so the factory wants to have this little groove here. So that pops in. Garagistic actually makes an adapter that threads onto their solid shifter, so you can use an OEM factory shifter that pops into place. Make an adapter for that.
So when did you start working for Garagistic?
I don't. I like cheap parts. I like cheap quality parts.
Yeah, somehow they're cheap and quality.
I will say this: doing this in Porsche seats, way more comfortable.
I don't think the viewers are gonna know that there's Porsche seats in here. Following the build, you know.
That's true.
It's a future episode. We show you guys how we put Porsche seats, 911 seats in an E30.
It's right there. That's the carrier. You can feel the grit and the grime in this. It's fantastic.
Now we get rid of the foam too, don't we?
Yeah, so we get rid of all of this.
Yeah. So this thing is made to seal that entire pocket too.
Yep, from my understanding on how this goes together, you can see this little groove right here, and it'll sit in that and it clamps itself onto that lip. Yeah, so now we'll climb under, we'll take all this out, which is all the fun stuff.
What'd you do?
Swapped up Mr. C-clip.
So a C-clip has to come out?
Yep. So that little guy to hold your linkage into place.
And that's the DSSR, right?
Yeah.
So your linkage is the DSSR, just so the vernacular is
Accurate.
is consistent. So
As long as the vocabulary sticks.
now once you for your install today, you just got to pop that clip out of the DSSR, and I'm assuming the pin, and then that moves out of the way, and then from there, the next step is removing like the brackets and everything, right?
Yeah. So there's that. That's gonna come out. We're going to disconnect 2 bolts at the top here. There's a carrier, and that's what the solid shifter eliminates. So I need.
And that's really where those poly bushings for your transmission come in.
Yep.
Is it's no longer attached to the transmission, so you don't want these things. Basically, you want it all solid.
So yeah. So we just took those 2 Allen head bolts. We used a torque socket, but whatever works. That goes onto the transmission, and the solid shifter eliminates all of this.
That's awesome.
So that's where the shifter actually rides. These little plastic bushings are known to fail.
And where are the attachment points on this?
So there's a little bracket that pops onto the back, so it sits like so, and then the transmission, and the shifter rides in this. So you're getting rid of all of this wiggly jiggly stuff.
Where are the fasteners for the transmission side?
They are here. There's just these 2 that
They
are
run
supposed
through
to run
those brackets.
So
Okay, awesome.
Kind of a dirty job. Probably should have worn gloves, but
Yep.
whatever.
Nice. Let's toss that shifter in. Yeah, what other kind of unique steps does this thing require?
Like I said, if it's on an older model, you might have to kind of round out the channel of it. This is the bottom portion. You can see now there's an adjustment for the throw here. We're gonna leave it as it is right now. Once we start tearing into this car a little bit more this year, we'll fine tune that later on. That they do recommend a little bit of blue Loctite because you obviously don't want that to come free. And then you can actually adjust on the top portion too. We take the little set screws out, adjust your height a little bit. We'll go all the way down and secure it in place though once we go to install.
Now, is there any certain? Let's see, the whole thing rotates.
It's gonna be.
So there isn't a specific way you got to install it. You really just toss it in.
Yep, and then I'll slide the linkage into it.
That does fit nice. Wow. Something to be careful of is this is all aluminum and you're using steel bolts, so it's easy to cross thread this stuff. So we got one lined up, and then you kind of twist and pivot the whole assembly. So Johnny, if you can, yep, you're doing it the right direction. All right, almost there. Stop. Hammer time.
Just so you know, every time you move the shifter, it hits me in the palm of the hand. Ow. My hand's trapped between that and the drive shaft.
All right, so they're all snug down now.
Okay, so I can put the linkage in?
Yep.
Nice. All right, that's that.
Dude, this thing is so direct.
It's night and day now.
Your shift is, it's like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches.
Oh!
Isn't that insane? Run through the pattern again.
Okay. Yeah, so that's reverse. God, she's so tight. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. So one thing I noticed that we're gonna have to modify, which is probably have to get drilled through the tunnel, is our reverse signal. There's no way to run that through because you get rid of the rubber boot and all that.
Oh, okay.
So what we'll probably do is just drill a 1/2 inch hole, get a rubber grommet, poke it through, call it a day.
Yep.
Super, super simple.
And this is for the older version because
Yeah.
the reverse switch, isn't it in a different spot than
the newer ones? Yeah, I
in the
believe so.
newer ones? Yeah. Because the sensors are in the transmission in a different spot.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so the install is done.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, it's rare that you have installations that go that smoothly.
And that it's engineered to be installed in the car properly.
Yeah.
We've worked with other top name brand parts that are supposed to be super simple, and you end up messing with it for 2 hours to get to fit.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
though is engineered perfectly. There's a little recess in the opening of the tunnel, and it's engineered to sit in that flawlessly. It takes all the guesswork out of it. Second set of hands to hold the bottom up, put in some bolts, and you're done.
Yeah, honestly,
It's
like
so
the
simple.
hardest part of this entire process is the removal of the stock parts,
Yeah.
which I don't know anything about because Donnie was under the car the whole time. But it sure sounded like a pain in the ass to
Yeah,
get those couple
it's-
bolts out.
That's the worst
Yeah.
thing.
Which really wasn't that big of a pain in the ass. You own a Euro car, so that half an hour to dilly-dally with getting those out is pretty small compared to taking the top
Everything.
transmission bolt out of a M20 car.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think, well, for one, we got to give some kudos. Got to give a shout out to Garagistic on producing an incredibly well-engineered part.
Yeah, it's flawlessly engineered.
It's gorgeous too.
Yeah, it's
I
easy on the eyes.
I feel like I want one just to have like
Just to have it
in my bedroom. Like I want it. I don't know. Like it's just I want to wake up every day and look at this thing.
The wife's just gonna be like, "Isn't that supposed to be for me?" You're like, no.
I want to wake up every day and like that'll be the pull handle. Get yourself out of bed. You'll just grab that and pull yourself up because I'm so old.
Well, and what's incredible is they engineered something that also can be tailored for what you need it for. If you want it taller, okay, cool, we can do that.
Right.
If you want it shorter, okay, we can do that too. If you want to use the original shift knob from your E30, they make an adapter that threads onto that, so you can just pop it in.
Yeah.
Like that's just awesome.
So if you want it to look stock or stock-ish, you can go to that extent. So we really can't emphasize enough, you guys, like go check out their website, look at the options that you can get for this thing. And if you have wearing out components in here, because there are, there are a few things that'll go bad in there. If that's already starting to happen, yeah, you could probably replace these for under $100, but spend the money and get this solid shifter if you want
spend double the money.
Yeah.
$225.
It's really worth it in the end. And one other thing that's kind of rad is like, okay, is that it eliminates that entire bracket. So if you ever got to pull the transmission out, you're literally just disconnecting the DSSR.
Yeah, it's a C-clip.
And then it's out. So you actually save time when it comes to popping a transmission out.
Exactly.
And if you own an old E30, more than likely you're going to be popping the transmission out.
Yeah. The only small gripe I have to say, and it's just being nitpicky, is because it takes out that whole opening now in the tunnel, we're going to have to drill a small hole for the reverse switch wires, but that's minor. It's a deep pin, 2 wires, small hole with a grommet, plug it back in.
Yeah.
Minor,
not bad
very
at all.
Minor.
And if you're a novice to doing any kind of wiring and that sounds intimidating to you,
it's not.
Just grab a step bit, step it up so that you can fit the entire plug through a hole, and then go get yourself a decent grommet that'll weather seal that up, and then you're fine. You'll never get liquid inside of the car. So. Thank you guys very much for watching, and hopefully this was of use to you. This is a hell of a good time for us.
Yeah,
it's not often that we get installs on aftermarket parts that go this smoothly. So thank you, Garagistic, and thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, and now it's like, it's like if you get a really good jerk off muscle, you could just fucking shift that thing.
We're gonna go to up down in a couple months, and I'm gonna be just killer at arcade games.
You're gonna break Dig Dug's lever, like the joystick is just gonna pop right off.